You won't believe what happened when we were moving." At that moment, Ellie realized they were actually moving, but she thought not every human was dangerous. The reason her parents were scared was because they had neighbors before, and now they've all mysteriously vanished. Suddenly, the living room ceiling was yanked open. A giant hand reached in. Mom fought back but got stuck on the table. Then the kitchen wall was lifted, and before Mom could react, a cute little kitchen just plopped down. Seeing all this, Mom fainted right away, and that giant hand caught her with the couch. That's when Dad finally crashed through the door. Although the room looked bizarre, at least Mom was fine. She was lost in the dream kitchen before her, not realizing it was all the work of Xiang. Xiang hoped Ellie's family would thrive, so gifted them her mini kitchen. Just when Xiang rushed upstairs, a Chun found some fallen kitchen tools and instantly got suspicious. Xiang's actions didn't shoot Ellie, but alerted her dad to looming danger. So he decided to move immediately. Before leaving, Ellie said goodbye to Xiang on the lawn, and Xiang innocently asked if the kitchen was pretty. After Ellie's affirmation, Xiang finally saw her clearly. Though thumb-sized, she was incredibly beautiful. Xiang was immediately captivated and felt the pang of self-reproach, thinking, should I really have given them the kitchen? But if Ellie truly left them, how long could she survive on her own in the outside world? That's when Ellie found out that Xiang was soon to undergo a crucial heart surgery. The surgery had a scary low success rate. It was like packing up for good on the operating table. She had already given up on her hopes of living. She thought she could protect Ellie while alive, but instead, she forced them to leave. Their conversation was clearly seen by a Chun from afar, thinking, what on earth is this? I must investigate. Back in the room, a Chun saw the precious items left by Xiang and thought, this is definitely not simple. She lifted the floorboards and indeed found Ellie's mom, gasping in surprise. Upon hearing the shout, Ellie's heart tightened, and she suddenly realized Mom might be in trouble, prompting her to rush home immediately. At that moment, a Chun put Ellie's mom in a glass jar and sealed the opening with plastic wrap. Then she poked a few tiny holes with a toothpick so Mom could breathe and placed her in the storage room to tell Xiang's grandma the big news. By the time Ellie got home, Mom had vanished without a trace. She noticed the teapot on the floor and the shifted ceiling. She realized Mom was taken, so asked Xiang for help. Seeing Ellie sad, Xiang offered assistance. Xiang lifted Ellie onto her shoulder and headed for the door. But suddenly they found the door was locked. A Chun had secretly locked it to prevent Xiang from causing trouble. Xiang decided to escape through the neighbor's window, but to her surprise, that was locked too. Fortunately, Ellie managed to squeeze through a gap and successfully opened the window to help Xiang. Xiang knew that a Chun often went to the storage room, so she took Ellie and rushed there. Even though her heart couldn't withstand intense activity, Xiang was still running with all her might, panting heavily and breathlessly. They should have found Ellie's mom sooner to keep her out of trouble, but after rummaging around, they still couldn't find her. Hearing a Chun shout, Ellie hid nervously in a nearby cabinet. Xiang startled a Chun, who pretended thirst. Xiang asked a Chun to pour her a glass of milk while observing her actions closely. She guessed Ellie's mom might be here, so she sprang into action and quickly found her mom. Ellie used a pushpin to pierce through the plastic wrap and successfully saved her mom, feeling like she had been reborn. But Mom got scared again when she saw Xiang. Ellie desperately tried to soothe her while staring at Xiang. Although she couldn't say thank you, her eyes were filled with gratitude. Just then, Grandma came home, and a Chun rushed to report the appearance of the tiny people. She claimed tiny people were like mice, bragged to Grandma, but found trash inside when opening floorboards. Seeing Grandma didn't believe her, a Chun took her to Xiang's room to expose the tiny people's theft, but was stunned when she opened it. The mini kitchen was neatly placed inside, and a Chun knew it had to be Xiang's doing, thinking, I need to figure out how to deal, but she couldn't do anything, trying to prove her innocence while rushing downstairs for the glass jar, just in time to smell the scent of vanilla wafting from the teapot. When she opened it, she actually found a leaf inside, realizing that the tiny people really lived here. Later in the evening, Ali's family was in the process of quietly preparing to leave when Dad swiftly turned off the lights, gesturing to Mom to ask they had spotted a raccoon making its way past. After the raccoon left, they found a tree hollow to rest. Ellie felt guilty and thought for a long time before realizing she didn't want to leave. Just then, in the dark ahead, a pair of eyes sparkled. Ellie thought it was a beast, but it turned out to be the fat cat Maya. But Maya didn't harm her and seemed to recognize Ellie as Xiao's friend. They didn't exchange a word, just gazed at each other. But it looked like the cat understood her and turned to head back home. Lying in bed, Xiang suddenly woke up. She saw Maya walk up to her, but as she got closer, Maya turned and walked away, making Xiang instantly understand what Maya meant. Xiang followed, clutching her chest and panting, despite the severe heartache, determined to see Ellie. At this moment, Ellie's family had already reached the agreed spot with Spiller, waiting by the water bottle. They had moved all their luggage into the water bottle, preparing to head down the river, while Maya took Xiao to hill. Since Xiao couldn't see Ellie, she had to clutch her painful chest and call out her name loudly.